Hi everyone, I would like to show you now how to make a good quality compost out of horse manure. I'm in a really lucky condition because my neighbor is just keeping 3 horses. Now you cannot see them because they are somewhere out, but actually only just a few meters from my lawn there are 3 horses, and the owner of them is changing the straw daily. So this is a great quality horse manure. There are only 3 of them, and it's very interesting because for him this horse manure is let's say garbage, but for me it represents a great value, so I get it for free without giving any money. So I just take my bike, go to my neighbor, 1 minute by bike, and using a wheelbarrow and a pitchfork I just start to throw this horse manure into my lawn, and now I have some extra, and I'm going to show you how to make a really good biologically active compost out of it. As you can see in my property, I'm having a no-dig garden. Here I started some years ago. This, let's say, in Hungarian it's called deep mulch. I started with a layer of course without digging, a layer of straw about 20 centimeter high, then about 20 or mostly 30 centimeter high horse manure, and I covered the top of it again with straw. So this is where I'm going to prepare my beds and to grow my crops, mostly vegetables. So now I have some extra, and I started to bring here the horse manure. What you might know about composting, you have to be very careful and pay huge attention to the nitrogen and carbon ratio. There are lots of beneficial bacteria, and in order to decompose well the materials, the exact ratio has to be for 1 nitrogen. There has to be around 25 to 30 carbons in those manure. You can check, let me give you some examples. Components that contain more nitrogen is, for example, the fresh leaves, fresh grass choppings, anything that is, let's say, green, or the manures, and which contains more carbon than nitrogen are the straw or dried out leaves or dried out wood choppings. So this is what you have to pay very much attention, and you need one more thing to compost things well. That is the water. I cannot explain you like a percentage. It has to be around 60% the amount of the water in the goods that you would like to compost. But what I can say is that you take like a bunch of stuff, and if you squeeze it really well, there has to exit like 1 drop of water. I started to learn the art of composting a few years ago, and I tried different types of methods or techniques, let's say, and I'm starting now to combine them. I started with this, just pay attention to the carbon and nitrogen ratio. Like to 1 nitrogen it has to be 25 to 30 carbon, and I just let these stuffs, and within a few months it decomposed. Then I started to check and learn, and I think that I've learned how to make hot compost or thermocompost. When you start to compost, within 21 to 30 days you have really good compost. The main problem with this is that it's very, very labor intense, because you have to add oxygen by like, let's say, using a pitchfork to change its position. So you once made this compost, this thermocompost, then you have to move to another place because the temperature just raises really high. So you have to work like in each like from 2 days, and this is very labor intense. And I started to study a bit to analyze the Johnson-Su bioreactor. So now I'm starting to combine all these knowledges. I put all this manure together, and I will make some holes into it. You can check, of course, what is written and shown in videos about this Johnson-Su bioreactor, and of course sometimes I'm analyzing it with a thermometer, and it should not be the temperature inside it. It should not be above 80 degrees centigrade. What I definitely suggest you to check Dr. Elaine Income's videos and documents about the soil food web, what is inside a good, what has to be inside a good compost, a biologically active, full of beneficial microbes and beneficial fungi. So now I'm starting to put this all together, and I will show you how what will be the result. But one more thing, what you might know, to have a successful compost you need at least 1 cubic meter, and I think that 1 cubic meter is about 1.3 cubic yards. You need volume and weight. If it's less than this, it will become compost, but it takes more time. And if you have more than 1 cubic meter, you cannot go towards the sky till, I don't know, like 20 meters high, but you start to lay down this this compost pile. So that is what we call a prism, and it also has to be like at least 1 meter wide and 1 meter tall. But I will show you within a few seconds. Just for example, what you might know, that this once was about like 7 cubic meters, that is about 9 cubic yards, and the end of it, the result is like 1.2 cubic meters of great quality compost, but it took about half an year till it got ready. And as I have already mentioned you, I'm taking in consideration the basics written by Johnson-Su, this bioreactor, and I'm trying to make holes in the compost pile. I'm not explaining you now the reasons, but you can read about these articles. This is a wooden stick that I made it sharp at the end, pointed it, and what I'm going to do is just to make a hole inside it, quite close one to each other, so like 30 centimeters from one to another. And I needed this pointed end because it's very hard to get through these straws. And now I would like to show you how to make it till the end, the good shape. Okay. What I suggest you, this pile is about like 1.5 meter wide, and it will be the end of it like more than 1 meter tall. So here I will have lots of manure to compost, and you also have to take in consideration the amount of water in it. Now I do not need to water it because in the last few days it was raining, and hopefully in the next few days it will be raining as well, and this is just more than enough, this amount of water in it. And on the other hand, at the a bit later on I will cover it in order not to let the water evaporate from this compost pile, because I need it inside. it will the temperature will raise within a few days to about 60 to 70 centigrades, and while when the temperature is raising up, of course the water will evaporate it, but I would like to keep it inside. So I will make one more video when I've done it, and I will turn back to this compost pile later on. Now it's the middle of January 2023, and I will return it to this compost pile, let's say in the spring. So that's it for now.